up measures to get its population ready for potential military threats from Russia. It's launched a program that puts civilians through military exercises aimed at basic survival and medical skills in case of a war. DW reporter Tessa Walter reports from Warsaw.
Christmas is already making its presence felt here in Poland's capital, Warsaw. Many hope for a peaceful holiday season, but Poles are acutely aware that, since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine 3 years ago, peace can no longer be taken for granted. That's why the government has announced a new military training program for civilians.
Each of us must have skills and practical knowledge of how to behave in a difficult situation. We're living in the most dangerous times since the end of World War II. For almost 4 years, a full-scale war is happening just beyond our borders.
Poland has been at the center of several security incidents in recent months. Particularly high-profile, the violation of Polish airspace by Russian drones in September, followed by rail sabotage allegedly carried out by members of Russian intelligence just this week. These events have sparked debates about the country's defense readiness. The voluntary military training, including first aid and survival exercises, is one response. And while Poles are split on many subjects, civilian preparedness does not seem to be one of them here in Warsaw.
The military training is quite necessary given the geopolitical situation, the security situation in Poland and in Europe in general.
It's a good opportunity first, but also it's kind of scary because it's showing in what times we're living.
If they will be conducted properly, that would be quite useful. For example, people could know how to get to the proper shelter.
In recent years, Poland has invested heavily in its armed forces. The Polish army is now NATO's third largest, with more than 200,000 soldiers. And with defense spending exceeding 4% of GDP, Poland invests more than any other NATO member relative to the size of its economy. Experts say that the new military training program could take Poland's ambitions a step further.
These trainings are useful to prepare a larger part of population to react to imminent threats at the very beginning, and from a second hand to actually scale up the number of reservists that can be called up in case of war.
By 2027, the program aims to train 400,000 people. With that, Poland hopes that it will be on the right course of action to safeguard the peace it hopes to preserve.
Let's go to our correspondent Tessa Walter, who filed that report. She's in Warsaw, a suburb of the Polish capital, Warsaw, on a military base. Tessa, good to see you. Let's talk about this civilian training for a start. What does it actually look like?
So officially, this training is about preparedness, about resilience, increasing this resilience of the population. But what exactly does it mean? So behind me, you can see actually 2 stations where people are learning something. So here on one side, people are learning how to make fire if they don't have a lighter or anything else at their disposal. And on the other side, let's move to there, you can see people learning how to use a compass. So very practical skills. And these are only 2 stations here in this military unit. We also saw first aid. So where people are learning how to stop a massive bleeding, and another one where they learn how to distinguish different types of sirens. So let's say one is ringing. Do I have to take shelter? Where do I take shelter? What do I take to that? Do I have an emergency backpack that is packed I can take along? So very hands-on practical skills that are being taught.
And tell us more about the motivation of those being trained on what looks a pretty cold day, to be fair. Why have they signed up?
Yes, it is very cold here, but 60 people made it out. And I can tell you, the range really surprised me because we have people as young as 20 years old, but also as old as 60. And 50% of them are women. So a very balanced gender divide. And one girl, for example, told me, I'm normally a student of bioengineering, but I'm here today because I want to get this practical knowledge and pass it on to my family. Another guy, he is already retired, said, I am not able to join the military anymore, but if I can be here and learn how to support my country, I want to learn it. So what really unites them all is that they perceive this Russian threat as very real. One summed it up and said, well, if Ukraine should fall, then Poland could be next, and I want to be ready to defend my country.
So you've illustrated the people's motivation pretty clearly. What motivates the Polish government, though, to launch this effort?
Well, Poland has looked at Ukraine very intensely in the last years, and what they've seen is that Ukraine has been caught off guard by this invasion, and they do not want to find themselves in a similar situation. So what they've seen is that a population that is well trained can actually slow down the army and can help rebuild infrastructure, critical infrastructure, and this is what they want their people to be able to do. So these programs here, they're now launching today, and they're launched all over Poland. So we have 130 units where people can sign up through an e-program, which is quite accessible and it's totally free. So they want to make it as accessible to people as possible. And in total today, 11,000 people are being trained. This is only a pilot program, but it will be scaled up next year. And they want to go beyond that, obviously. They hope that not only people, civilians, are going to be trained, but they want them to get interested in the military. So at some point, maybe there will be people that will say, okay, I can join the reservist force. So today it's only for civilians, but if they want to push it further, they can sign up for a second track and then they join the reserve, which could increase the army here in Poland.
From Warsaw, a suburb of the Polish capital,